house.
Yo,
That's where we at.
representing Khayelitsha for the streets. You feel me? This is culture, for real. Check it, yeah. Time fly, I can't believe it now. It's 2024 and still we holding down. Shout out to my niggas that we living down. We on the dying spree, we kinda bought the mission now. They kill us with corona, raise that fear in us. Forcing rules like we are falsified. Had to choose between being white or being black. I'm still black. That shit is crazy, this make me angry. It's more than 20 years but I see no changes. There's so much going on where I'm coming from. They say what doesn't kill you only make you strong. To me that could be wrong. What if it makes you weaker? Slow death, killer say sweeter. Fuck the hell, we are bending here. I'm fighting for the bread in my mother's land. And I think it's clear that I ain't even scared. Even though I go through some shit that I can't even tell. Fuck it, let's go.
Yeah. We go through some shit that you can't even tell our mother shit.
Yeah.
Friend, Mavijero, thanks a lot, my friend. Otherwise, Mavijero for you are known as Mavijero, and I am here as Mr. Loft Entertainment. Lamfana ngathokaza wathiwa akasemhlomdala siyabulela ngaye, and this is Underdogs glorified bafowethu. Otherwise ubhuti doesn't need no introduction. Otherwise just ask whenever, how does he look this awesome? That's my question to you. Who gave you this drip? What gave you inspiration to this drip today, brother?
Well, first of all, like, I would like to thank the opportunity that you just granted me, bro. Like, it's been a minute. I've been wanting to be here in your show, the Gassy Dog glorified. We feel the underdog glorified.
Which is you today.
The outfit that I'm just having today, bro, like, was just inspired by, the late Tupac,
Easy.
The late Tupac. You feel me? Like, I remember when he was, attending a meeting to sign a deal with, with Shook. I mean, that guy used to like take this business formally, and you would tell with how he dressed himself. So also, I kind of like drew the inspiration from him, and also like I put this together by myself though. I put this together by myself.
Nice.
And I'm glad you're really liking it.
Man, like as I'm seeing you, I'm like, hey, this is me. In the past, I wish, though in the future I can also be like this, cause things like this, man, like we get inspirations from you. The fact that you are dressed like this, and as you know that we love music, so the fact that you are dressing like this, like Tupac. Who am I, man, to succeed in life? So how many millions are you gonna get in the future since you are just like Tupac?
Man, like, even, one is enough for me.
One?
Just one is enough for me.
I need 5 of those numbers. An M, my friend.
On the M.
I'm greedy.
No,
Where you want?
I'm sure you've got like your own reasoning as to, how much do you want. Even me, like, I've got my own reasons why I'm saying like, one is just enough for me. I mean, we all have like different, needs and reasoning around things that we want.
True. Otherwise, except I'm sitting with you here, you are well dressed than I am, but people out there are thinking they're thinking to themselves as to, okay, I want this guy, I would love to date him, but who is he? So how would you describe yourself to the audience and to the public as to the music scene?
Okay, well, I go by the name Mavijero, but my real name's Vuyo Mgoswana. I was born here in Cape Town in Khayelitsha, and I partly grew like up in Indwe, Eastern Cape. That's where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
That's why, you know, yes, it's a small town. I mean, many people don't know, you know, that town, but actually there are people living there, and I'm one of them. And I just left Cape Town when I was only 4 years old. I left to Indwe, and then I came back when I think I was 19, you know, in 2009, 18. In 2009, I came back and I settled back here in Cape Town. So yeah, that's who I am, you know.
Yo, you are old, you must never find him. You left him. You were 19, you were 18.
Yeah.
I actually have a friend called Ungamla. Shout out to Ungamla. Utulani Ngamla.
I think he's from here in Philly.
Nah, he's from Crossroads. We grew up together.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, with Tulani Nda Dasi isinimi yakhe. He's from Endwe. Umama yakhe, our street that way we live in is named after his mom.
Oh, sure.
But they are from Endwe. So I thought maybe they are so big also. And
there might be maybe it's just that I don't know of, you know. There might be, yes.
So how is life for someone who comes from Endwe, and living here, because that's the rural, and then you are here. So do you feel like abantu baseNgcobo make better music than you when they are here, and then when on your end, do you feel like, hey, we are not seen because Endwe it's not really seen. I know it by my friend. You are my friend today.
Yeah, I mean, like, coming from where I'm coming from, like, it's kind of like different, you know, and it's difficult to tell if like whether, you know, people. I think it's different stroke for different folks, you know, because I mean, for me, coming from, you know, Indwe and then making it here in Cape Town, it was kind of like a transition that gave me the balance of how to live, you know, or maneuver, you know, in life of urban area and rural. Because I mean, you know, people who are coming from rural areas, they don't know much. I should say, I don't know about now, but back then at the time it was even worse because we didn't have much, you know, we didn't have libraries, you know, you name it. There are no resources, you know, about
even roads,
the infrastructure. You can tell. So it becomes even more, you know, for kids growing up, they don't have all the equipment that can equip them to at least, you know, be ready for the lifestyle of, you know,
which means you can't be something when you come in that neighborhood. Like there's, you know, hope.
There is, you know, that is the gap that I wish, you know, our government can bridge, or us as people can, you know, always, you know, work towards on. Because I mean, think about it, most of parents here in Cape Town or in other big cities, you know, they kind of, because of their working here, they're hustling, so they don't have much time to actually raise their kids. So they, you know, send them to rural areas where they will be raised by grandmas and other family members. But with that being said, you realize that, you know, kids, you know, lack a lot by growing up in this. Yes, maybe they are safe in crime and other, you know, things, maybe drug abuse and any, you know, substances abuses when they are in rural areas. But even though, you know, for me, when I was coming from rural areas and I got here in Cape Town, I didn't know what is a library looking like, or what a library is. You feel me?
So
you know, at the age of 18 years, I didn't know much. You know, I didn't even know, you know, pretty much about the internet. Well, I'm coming from, you know, an era where, you know, internet wasn't as, you know, influential or, you know, important as it is now.
Anyway, Mr. Mavijero, I've been calling you Mavijero Fit. Certain people are asking themselves why I'm calling you Mavijero Fit. Can you just give a brief introduction as to who you are, why is your name Mavijero, and why you are doing music? That's the most important part.
Okay, so I go by the name Mavijero, but my real names are Vuyo Mgoswana. I was born here in Cape Town, bro, like in Khayelitsha, yes, you know, and I grew, you know, up there in Cape Town, those quarter camps, you know, and until I think I was 4, and then I relocated to Indwe, And I came back, you know, when I was studying high school, I think, you know, in 2009. Yes, I wasn't actually studying high school. I was in the middle of the grades of high school. Yes,
Okay.
I think I was doing grade 10. Yes, I was doing grade 10, so I moved here in Cape Town.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
that's who I am. Actually, this name was given to me. I mean, I was named by my late friend called Vuyo Maratan. May he still continue, rest in peace. You know, he always wanted me to rap. He always believed that like I have a skill in rapping, you know. And even though like at the time I couldn't, you know, be confident about it, I didn't know that I could, you know, I was, you know, one of the best to ever do it. So he would be the person who pushed me to actually, you know, pursue, you know, music as my career. And then when he passed on, it got to my nerves that like, yo, I want to do what my bro like would have loved me to see me doing, you know, and that's how I started.
Yeah.
Back then when he was still alive, like he would push me at the back, like, yo,
Go
rap, and you know, I wouldn't, you know, I didn't, at the time, at the time I didn't have, you know, the courage, you know, to even like start, but as soon as, you know, he passed on, I knew that I wanted to, you know, not to think short of myself, because now I felt like there was no one like anymore to actually, you know, do the job he was doing, like to push me, you know, to do what I'm doing now. Yes, you know, so yeah, and falling in love with music, man, yo, it's a long story. You know, I remember, I can say that I'm coming from a, you know, a family that actually loves music, you know, so my background is just so musical. My mom loved music so much, and my uncles, you know, my father on my father's side, you know, they love music so much. I remember when I was young, you know, just like as I said, I grew up in Eastern Cape. You know, half of my life I was there, living in a farm. You know, there wasn't much. You know, there wasn't much in farms. You know, you just like take care of the cattle and, you know, other livestock. And there is task, of course, that you do, you know, in between, and then school. So I used to listen to a radio a lot, you know, and you know, as I was, you know, listening to radio, I can't even call off if it was her at the time, you know, because I was pretty young. But I know for sure that it is definitely a radio, Umhlobo Wenene to be precisely, that introduced me to a lot of, you know, music and musicians. You know, they used to play local music a lot at the time. And I fell in love, man, with music, you know, even at home. You know, my uncles would be playing music most of the time. You know, they had a tape, a beat tape, that they used to play music with a cassette on. So that's how
we are just so old.
Yes, we come
I feel like we are the same age.
So I guess other people know, you know, I'm a 2000 will never know how it feels like to actually write a cassette, you know, with a pencil.
Too much sound, you don't get in the sound. Correctly. Just the sound.
Or you cassette like with the where, you know. So I'm coming from that, you know, era, and you know, I'm so grateful that my uncles and, you know, introduced me to music, you know, because music became, you know, as I was growing in a farm, became my, you know, comforter. You know, I used to, when I'm in the field, you know, taking care of cattle, like I would, because at the time I didn't know, you know, where my mother was, you know. My mom and my dad got separated when I was only, I think, I don't know, I was 3 or 4, yeah, I'm not sure. So I grew up, you know, in my father's side. So as I grew up there, you know, as I'm growing, of course, as a boy, as a young boy, I, you know, realized that the love of my mother was lacking. At the time, you know, everything was just kind of like reminding me of the gap that, you know, I had with her, like simple stuff like sheep. You know, a sheep would like miss, you know, eat baby, and then, if it's missing it, baby, it will start crying out loud looking for it, baby, and then I would
yeah, that's a calling.
Yes, that
like,
I would.
Hey, I'm here on this side.
Yes, so I would, have thoughts, of I wonder how my mom feels, or why are we not together and stuff, and then music started playing that role of comforting me in those instead. I remember I was only 13, if I'm correct, when I told my aunt to buy me a stereo. There was a device to those that don't know a stereo.
Yeah,
You remember those?
It seems like we're on the same page. A stereo, with the cassette.
With the cassette in it. Yeah, so I asked, coming from not a well affording family, well-off family, so that would make us choose when we want something. Some other things has to be compromised for us to get something, because they couldn't afford to get everything that we wanted for us, because it wasn't just me alone, but it was also other cousins. We were raised by my grandma.
Are you the only child though?
No, from my mom we are two, and from my father's side we are four. That is as far as I know. Yeah, because my dad used to tell me that they have no child. I don't know.
That's what I saw on Facebook. Someone said, "But how many are you on your mom?" He was like, "I'm the only child, but you gonna find it on the funeral. How many are we? Oh my goodness!"
It be like that in the black community, bro. So sad, but it has came down to that, So but when I grew up, I wasn't alone. I was with my cousins. We were raised by our grandmother. So my aunt, told me that, okay, for me to buy you a stereo, I'm not gonna buy you Christmas clothes, and because of how much I wanted, that stereo, I actually, said, hell with Christmas clothes. I want it. I took it. Because my logic at the time was, if I'm gonna, have a Christmas clothes, I'm gonna wear them only once on the Christmas Eve, and then that's done. But after, I can still play my stereo, and especially as a kid, we didn't mind much about brands and
clothes. You saw value in there.
You see, and I'm glad that I was, because it kind of showed me my capability of prioritizing at a young age, reflecting back to that scenario. Then, unfortunately, my aunt, bought the stereo and bought the clothes as well.
Lucky you.
Lucky me. And then I had both. So yes, I kind of have vivid memories about how we used to gather even outside my home. Back at the time where we would just sing music with my cousins, group of us and our friends as well. Late at night we'll be just singing song outside, playing beats on.
So what was the favorite song there?
They were traditional music most of the time. I remember it was what we call today Mavijero,
Oh,
so yes.
I understand that.
But my stereo though came with Brenda Fass's cassette,
Is it?
I think it was a new album that had a weekend special song. It was a white cassette, that came, yes, and then because back then when you bought something, they would give you something they call it parcela, and then they gave me another cassette of
Plus one.
So just at the time, Lucky Dube and Brenda Fassie, they were so prominent, they were so big,
You are that old, bruh?
Yes, I listened to a lot of them. I listened, growing up, music that I used to hear playing around me was actually Ray Piri music, Stimela, Mamuyu Von Chaka Chaka, Kefas, yeah, those type of music, you know, that what was playing when I was young. But later on, I got introduced, of course, to, you know, Zola, and, you know, when the Kwaito was starting, you know, getting introduced, and then that's when I also, So my love for music, like, came way back from that time, if I can remember correctly. But even though I wasn't making music at the time, but like, I could tell that was something that I, you know, if someone gives me multi-choice of what would I prefer to chill with, movies or music, it would be music, definitely. Yeah.
Mavijero, as you see that I am laughing, one thing that I'm picking up from you is that music didn't come from influence, but it was already there. There was that DNA in you that said, okay, music is in, whatever happens outside, I'm just gonna embrace it. But what was your first song when you hit the studio? So let's skip everything else. Now that you know, okay, this is my calling, right?
Yeah.
What was your first hit? Not really your first hit, but what was the first song that you recorded?
Funny enough, I recorded a song called I Made It, you know.
I made it.
I made it, yes.
Mama, I made it.
Yes. Something like that, you know, because actually, the reason why my song was called I Made It was because of, I thought, you know, when I came to Cape Town, you know, I thought I would get into a studio and be famous from the spot, you know, because I came to Cape Town knowing very well that amongst other things that I want to do when I get here was to pursue music as my career, you know. I knew that for sure. So when I got here, I got into a studio and then I recorded a song called I Made It, you know. And little did I know that it was just the beginning, you know. I hadn't even, you know, started, you know. It was just like,
so how many minutes are we gonna eat? Are we gonna chow in the future? So are you gonna give me like 99 million? I don't know.
Bro, we're gonna chow and meet her, don't worry. I will chow and meet her, bro, like for real. Yeah.
You know what I love about you is the fact that you saw a picture and said, Mom, I made it. Imagine coming from a rural area and coming to an urban area and saying, Mama, I made it.
Yeah, bro. Like, you see, when you're coming from a small town, you know, or a small village, you know, everything kind of like, you know, gets to be to you a success or achievement, you know. Things that would be considered not achievements in big city like this, you know, would be an achievement to you because you're coming from, you know, a small place where you don't know much or you don't have much. So getting to a big city like this and having to have access to a lot of things and getting more opportunities, they become definitely an achievement to you. So at a time I could, you know, imagine where that thought came from. You know, it came from a place of being fulfilled with just little things, you know, but actually understanding that it's a lot, it's an achievement. Coming from where I'm coming from, even being here in Cape Town, coming where I'm coming from, it's an achievement, bro. There is a kid, or there is not a kid, not even a kid, an adult at my age who's looking, you know, at this being here in Cape Town, you know, as an opportunity or something to really, because they always, if I, for instance, I come back to Eastern Cape in festive, you know, group of young boys and kids will gather in front of me just to ask, you know, is it true that the plane is so big? And I just have to, you know, verify that yeah, it is indeed, you know, big. Have you been inside the plane? They want like little stuff like that. So for me, I understand, you know, how it feels to come from, you know, a small town and being in a big city, you know. So that's how I entitled that song that I made it, you know. And actually they embraced it even in Eastern Cape. They played it and they were loving it a lot.
I was about to ask, how do you think they feel when they hear the track? That was gonna be my next question.
Yes, they were so happy.
What are your thoughts as to Mama, I made it. I'm in the same Cape. Not really Mama, I made it, but I'm hearing your version of I made it. And then how do you think they feel?
They really like they were happy about it. They embraced it, bro. Like it meant a lot to them. I could tell, you know, it was not even something that I was feeling, but something that I could witness, you know. When they meet me, tell me, oh, I've heard your song, bro. Like, yo, it kind of made me feel this type of way, and that used to really humble me a lot, you know. That used to humble me. I could imagine one of my old friends, you know, hustled to get a time so that he could call me and tell me that, bro, I had your song. He couldn't wait for me to come back, you know, in December, just to tell me that, you know. So I know for sure that like it really meant a lot to them.
Yeah, that's a humbling experience, bro. Like getting recognition from someone who made a struggle just to let you know.
You know, man, like, and it kind of like adds a layer onto, you know, the drives that makes me actually do this music thing to start with, you know. So, you know, having experiences like that, you know, kind of like pushes me. Yeah.
So who's your biggest supporter at this moment?
Yo, bro, like at this moment, no one comes into my mind. Firstly, if I just think about who actually, if I'm recording a song, the first person that I know that is gonna be wow on my song is a guy called like Ubuntu Maratana. Ubuntu is actually a younger brother of my late brother, my late friend. So that guy really believes in me, man. Like he believes me even sometimes more than I do about myself. You feel me? Like he really believes in me, and there are other also people, of course, you know, but your question is just direct, like who's the first one?
The first
that person, you know, he really supports me, you know. Of course, if I would give you like a top 5 for at least maybe on my top 5 I can have like people like Uspamandla, Togozwa, you know. I can have like you know, I can have like man, like come on, like, a lot of people like I know, a lot of people,
but shout out to everyone who's supporting Mavijero for it. Otherwise, I first met you on the, I think, I don't know the date, but it was in Philippine Village. You were performing there on a show for His Toys.
On His Toys video screening show. Yo, bro, that moment was big. Shout out to His Toys as well, man. Like, yo,
His Toys.
Yeah, what you did there, bro, like, it's too much.
What was happening there? How did you even get there, man? Let's just give a brief as to how we got there.
Okay, you know, so I bumped up to His Toys on the session, you know. Shout out to Inmondi, you know, for putting up like the show like that. So I met with His Toys on that show. So he was performing, and then after his performance, like I felt like, yo, that guy is so talented. So I felt the need to go and just actually tell him that he shouldn't stop, you know, he's very dope, and just like to, you know, to give him. So after that, we kind of like, you know, became so close with him, you know. We would bump up to each other each and every session, you know, and we would look for each other and just to greet each other and stuff like that. Then he approached me and told me that he wanted me to perform in his, you know, video screen.
That was big, bro. That was big, bro.
And I didn't even
pull up something like that.
And I wouldn't even know, like, for sure, like, if it was gonna be something like that. I thought it was gonna be something intimate, you know. But when I got there and I saw, and if not one of the 2 or 3, you know, performances that I did that year, because that year I didn't perform much because I was still busy, you know, writing and recording my music. So I didn't have many songs.
What were you writing? You're gonna get there,
So shout out to His Toes, man.
Shout out His Toes.
And I was just with him like not long ago. Like he visited my crib, and we had a recording session as well.
That's how tight you are now.
And
shout out,
even on my latest release, he just gave me a call, you know, just to shout out, you know, and say, yo, bro, your song is dope. I think it's time now. Because I just like dropped the visuals as well for that song, and he watched those visuals and he was really like happy, you know. And if someone like Kizzy was confirmed for me, then it is, you know.
Okay, I was confirming from the heart.
Yes, sir.
Because I'm like, wow, who is working? You were just saying that I'm gonna miss this, then it's here, and then there's visuals like,
yeah.
It's quick, yeah. Is this DJ coming to what? Yeah, man.
Yeah, shout out to Max Beat, you know, for actually, you know, producing that song for me, because he just sent the beat for me, and then I kind of like felt it. At the time, I was in a, you know, mood of, you know, album, so I was busy with my Dear Diary album, and then it came through, and then I was like, damn, let me, you know, get something quick with this, you know. I got it out, and how it was received, you know, also gave me the drive to just like shoot the visuals for it, you know, drop it. Yeah,
Mavijero, I had met a lot of artists with it, but then the first time we performed, I was like, say this nigga, we need to do an interview, but we delayed it. Yeah,
I remember. I also remember telling you that I was not ready at the time. Because I didn't have much, you know, to present. I didn't. There was, and at the time I was just like, you know, putting work together, and I was like, I was sure that I want to come to your show. And shout out to you for you know always honoring your invite, even though it took time. But like finally we're here and we're having this conversation, like it's like so dope. And yeah, man, I mean, now I've got like music that is out. I've got like music that is coming on the way. You know, I've made like a lot of appearances as well. So now I feel like it's time for me to kind of like have more of these kind of interview where I kind of tell people like what I'm doing, what I'm about, and who I am actually. Just to introduce myself in the scene.